Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Jack's vlog. And in kind of keeping with what he's been doing, he likes to do his press at the start of the week and then his bench towards the end, just due to the different gyms he goes to. So we started off, he missed a rep. He's like, I can't believe I missed it. And that was all triceps, really. He just needed more tricep. But this was his 1+ week, so the fact that he got 2 clean reps and then missed a third, we're happy with. We're happy with it. And something that we've got to keep in mind with him, he is at a lighter body weight than at the last powerlifting meet he did. He's going to be, because his bench was quite a bit better before. His bench is probably down over 20 pounds from where it was, but he's a weight class down. So, again, we've been building his bench back up because it was quite a bit lower when he cut down. But he's kind of like, I don't know that I want to be at a much heavier body weight than this. I like how I look shirtless. He's like, I don't feel fat now, because he had sent some pictures over at the beach a while back. So he's like, let's just do the weight class down for my next meet, and we'll just get him as strong as we can inside that class, because he's drug free. He competes tested. And, again, coming down a weight class, I think is fine. We're going to have to recomposition a little bit because he's a little tall. He's above 6 foot also. So, again, I get a lot of tall lifters, guys, for some reason. Not all my guys are tall. It just seems like it in my vlogs. But he is a little tall for these weight classes. So that also means, though, that we can fill out his frame more. We're going to do some little short bulks and cuts, to kind of keep him at the weight he likes to be at. But he likes being a little leaner like he is now. He doesn't want to be at a higher body fat. And he may not do any more strongman. He may stick with just powerlifting at this point. So, and he just wants to look good and look good for the wife and everything. So, it's all good. So the pressing is going to go a little slower. So we got 2 on both the press and the bench today on the 1+ week. Squats, we got 4. He got 4 reps at squats with a 365. So we're happy about that. Squats coming back up a bit. I still want to work a lot on his posterior chain stuff, right? Because I'm overall pretty happy with his squat technique. And I feel like posterior chain and hamstring and stuff are limiting his deadlift. He's all back still. So I think that's going to bring it all up. So we're putting a lot more focus on those things. We're putting focus on the hamstrings, doing glute ham raises. I may eventually work him back in with more good mornings in the future. But right now, his squat, I do want to bring the legs up just a little bit because I feel like quads and adductors aren't 100% up to speed since he had trimmed down a few months ago. I'd like to get him a little thicker. So for his squat days, for now, we are doing, 5x10 on the back off squats, and then I have him do, 3 sets of leg press. And as he gets stronger on the leg press, and then I know the quads and adductors are coming up, using that wide stance leg press, I'll work more good mornings back in because I do feel like the good mornings are going to help him. But the thing to keep in mind, we're not doing a hardcore bulk. We have limited recovery resources, and that's the thing that we run into. And a lot of people do that. They see these boring but big type templates where you ramp up to a heavy set and then you do 5x10 back off, as assistance work for your main barbell lift. There's only so much accessory volume you can squeeze in, and if you try to go with too much, you just do not recover from it, right? You do not recover. And so we have to pick and choose, So in his case, his main lower body accessories right now are the leg press and the glute ham raise. Because again, I do want to bring up those main squatting muscles, and I really want to hammer his hamstrings because his hamstrings are limiting his deadlifts quite a bit. Like he has so much more deadlift potential if we can get those hamstrings up. But, I also would like for him to do good mornings. But the problem, again, we run into with the volumes that we have is that we can only squeeze so much supplemental work in. So it's just like on the other days, I let him do some tricep work. We do pull-ups for the overhead press day. And then benching day, all we really do are pull-ups and dips, after all the benching, right? After all the benching. But, I'm pretty happy really with the benching. He's like, really, I only had 2 reps, but it's with 290, right? A double with 290. We're coming back up. I'm okay with that. And then we're doing a little heavier 5x5 for his back off. We're not doing, the boring but big. We're doing fives there at this point. I believe that's the case of what I have him doing. Should probably double check that before I say that. Yeah, I have him doing fives on the bench because he quite frankly just personally needs the heavier work, and then I'm using the dips to really build all of that up and hypertrophy things. But we still get hypertrophy from the fives, but again, we have to be careful not to get beat up with it. And I'm not going to run him on there for a real long time doing stuff like 70 or 75% at fives. Because again, eventually it takes a toll on the joints with the amount of pressing we do. But I feel like for a short phase, it's going to help him out, help him push through a little bit of a plateau, and then we'll work more volume benching back in. To again keep the hypertrophy going, because we've got to bring his pecs and stuff up too. But the dips will help with that a lot. And we may need to do that after a short phase. And I just want him to get the practice with the heavier work is a big part of it. But I feel like in the longer term, though, once we get that down, the 10s will really give him more pec size, which, he would benefit from. Deadlifts, he did good. He's like, they were really, really ugly. He did 4 reps on his 1+, and he's like, they looked terrible. You want to get to them, you guys will see them in a minute. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't the prettiest form, but you got 4. I think here's the set coming up right here. He's like, he got 4. It's just that we're seeing that compensation with his back and the weak hamstrings, right? We're seeing that because his technique is actually decent, right? His technique is decent. What we're still seeing with him is the compensatory strength. He tends to round that low back due to the weak hamstrings, even when he sets up correctly, right? Even when he has that bar in close, everything's right, we still run into that issue a lot. And then, of course, he does back off work with 10s here. And then we do sets of glute ham raises. Now, it's been pointed out, he's getting better at the ability to do glute ham raises. He used to have to do all of them just like assisted, holding himself and just do the negative and then push himself back up. He's getting better at his ability to do them, which means the hamstrings are getting stronger. It's just going to take some time. And he has been noting he's getting DOMs from some of this stuff. He's like, I'm getting a lot of glute DOMs and stuff lately too. He's been getting some hamstring DOMs. So we do need to watch that a little more closely. And again, the glute ham raises are still hard for him. He doesn't do them perfect yet, but at least he can do them. A couple of months ago, he couldn't even do one of these without just holding onto the handles, right? He had to have assistance, let alone being able to do them. Even though he's been over a little more at the hip than I'd like, he's still able to do these. And he's a very tall guy, so we're making progress there. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.